KSI.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy KSI. Thank you, everyone, for coming. In terms of Dillon Danis not being here at the moment, I think it's quite disappointing, disrespectful to me and everyone who's here, expecting him to show up. But it's definitely not something I haven't seen before. Same thing happened with Alex Wasabi. We were meant to fight, and he obviously flaked. And I don't know. Maybe it's my presence. Maybe it's just me in general. Like, I'm just so much of a scary guy. But I can understand that. I'm a person that I'm very disciplined. I'm very focused. And if you look at my resume, I don't lose too many times. So I think for Dillon, that's probably seeping in. And I know he's undefeated himself, but I think looking at me in the eyes, even when we saw each other in Texas, I could tell, it was all a facade. Like, he had to pretend that he's bigger and stronger than he actually is. And it kind of shows, like, him not being here shows how little he really is, how small his mindset really is. And he says I'm not a real fighter, but I'm always here, I'm always ready. And he, as someone who says is a real fighter, has not made the plane trip to fight me, or to see me, should I say, and then has not made even the Zoom call to see me. He is terrified, he's petrified of me, and it's disappointing. It's disappointing. But either way, like, when I do see him in the ring, he'll understand that all the frustration and anger I have for him for disrespecting me in this way will show January 14th. I'm a guy that whenever I am focused and whenever I want something, I will get it, no matter what. And if anything, this makes me want to train harder. It makes me want to do more than I already am doing. It makes me want to do more sprints. It makes me want to do more bag work, do more sparring, do more of everything that I've been doing at such a high level. And I'm ready for all things, whether it's Dillon Danis, whether it's Tommy Fury, whether it's Jake Paul, whether it's any of these guys. Like, I am a different beast, and I will show it with all of these fights that I do. It's just a shame, honestly.
And I spoke to his manager yesterday, who said he didn't want to be, but he insisted on a video link, which we then organised, and clearly he hasn't appeared on now. Do you believe you're living rent-free in his head right now?
I believe I'm all he thinks about, and I think I'm in his nightmares. I think I'm constantly terrorizing him, haunting him, and it's making him slowly break down. It's making him feel like, wow, maybe I'm way in over my head. I say this guy isn't a fighter. I say this guy is a phony, this, that. But when it comes to it, when I see KSI in that ring January 14th, am I really ready to get in there with him? Many have tried to beat me and have failed. And does he really think he's going to be the guy to be able to beat me? I don't think so.
Well, the question I really wanted to ask him, but I'm going to sort of try and turn it into a question for you now, he's obviously an undefeated MMA fighter, so we've got to give him credit for that part. He'll be, I'm assuming, working with striking coaches, working with boxing coaches. How do you and your team with Alexis and Marios, how are you preparing for what must be one of the hardest challenges? Is he's certainly a fighter on paper. We can't take that away from him. But it's an underscript when it comes to boxing. I mean, I felt the vibe in that ring in Texas before the armed police stormed the ring.
Yeah.
It was, but it's not a grappling competition. It's not a competition on the floor. It's a stand-up man-on-man. How do you prepare for that? Is it like any other opponent? Have you been studying his moves inside a Bellator ring?
Well, I mean, with Dillon Danis, we know he's the southpaw, and we know he's a fighter, throughout. Like, he's been training with Conor McGregor, etc. And that's his job. His job is to fight. That's all he does. Whereas I'm not a fighter. I'm a guy who has done YouTube as well as music. As these are my career paths: YouTube, music. I've got Prime, I've got XIX, Sides, I make Sidemen videos, I do all these other things, and I also box. So that is, a thing which again makes it so funny that I'm still here, with all my schedule, with everything I do, and then he isn't. But yeah, with Dillon Danis, we know with him, an area that he thinks he's going to be advantageous is in the clinch. He thinks he probably can work away in the clinch and do certain moves in order for me to not know what I'm doing, and he thinks he'll have a better inside game than me. But we've been working on that. We've been working on making sure in the clinch I'm doing work. I'm not just in no man's land and lost. Same with the type of boxing that we've been working on, and the type of techniques, etc. We've been working on new techniques, been working on new stances, working on new angle changes, and shifting and all these other things to make sure when I get in that ring I'm just an absolute animal. And I just want to see the fear in his face. I just want to see it in his eyes. I just want to see him crumble beneath me and just really understand that all the hard work and everything that I put into this, I'm going to unleash onto him. Yeah.
It's quite a statement. I mean, I can second to that. We're on our 5 days together in Austin. You arrived with the full training team when we were training over there. So I think if certain professionals had that mindset, they would also be a lot further in any career, actually. He's not here. Let's give it one final last message, because clearly there'll be millions of people watching this. What message, one-to-one, he's in front of you now, what do you say to Dillon now, KSI?
Well, I mean, Dillon, you're probably training hard, or you're probably thinking you can play mind games with me, but my mind is so strong. It's bulletproof, and nothing can penetrate. I am a man that has lived on the internet. I've heard the worst of the worst. I've been through it all publicly, when it comes to family situations, or when it comes to just life in general. A lot of it has been public, and I've had to go through all of that. So nothing you can do can break me. And when I get in that ring, I'm going to break you mentally and physically. And I don't want you to be able to ever say to anyone ever again that you are a fighter. I want the whole world to know that you're a piece of shit and you're getting fucked up.
It's a very clear statement.